Well, now, let's check out these 6 useless financial advice you can never get. Listen, in a mixture of us having good financial advisors out there, you also have some financial advices that you can get that can actually lead you astray. And listen, you can always find out whether the advice that you're getting is whether the right one. And when I say the right one, I mean with regard to your situation. Stop copy pasting anything and everything that people are doing there and thinking that would work for you. No, come on. First of all, listen, you can never be advised if you do. By the way, when we reach this, the last one, it actually has a lot of points. Whenever you want a financial advice, first the financial advisor should understand who is you and where you are heading and where you are right now before they start throwing in there. Anyway, this is good, Joseph, and you're watching me for the first time, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure that you subscribe. And if you're still a returning subscriber, come on, don't deny me that like button. If indeed you're getting value out of this video, go ahead and hit it, and then make sure that you leave a comment on the comment section. Can be a question or anything that you'd love to tell me. Anyway, let's get on the business now. The first useless financial advice that you can never get, which is so popular, I also got it. It is when they tell you live by your means or within your means. Do you know simply what that means? Hey, if you're earning 100,000, please make sure that you live within the lifestyle of 100,000. That means that you're left with nothing, meaning that you do not have any cash flow. If you ask me the best financial advice I can tell you, try to squeeze yourself as much as you can to live below your means so that you can create the surplus. But hang on, I know you have some caveat here. You're about to tell me, instead of telling people to live below their means, why don't they look way of making more so that they can actually live the way they would like? Amazing. I would definitely go for that advice. But the question is, let's be real. This is an individual who is employed from 5 or rather from 9 to 5, or they actually completely tighten up. Let's say they are or the optimum. Let's say they're even working on 4 or 3. Is it possible to have 4 jobs? Yeah, sure. I mean, you can. Let's say you have like 2 or 3 jobs that you're actually trying to work on. Then you tell this somebody to look for something else that they can do to earn more. How realistic is that? The easiest way you can ever make some extra cash is to simply live below your means. It is the easiest way. You make 50 G's or you make 50,000, live a 40,000 lifestyle. So thereabout, you've actually created a surplus of 40,000. You didn't earn more. You've actually brought down your expenses to be perceived as if you've made more. So you have an extra 10K to be invested. So when they say don't live by your means, kindly live below your means. You see, when they say live by your means, if you are a doctor, you earn 200K, so they are telling you simply live that lifestyle of 200K. Please don't copy an MP somewhere, or don't copy a congressman somewhere or congress lady somewhere. See, what you're supposed to do is to live below by your means. And that's why when you meet people for the first time, they ask you, hey, what do you do for a living? They're simply asking you that question so that they can determine the respect that they should accord you. If you tell somebody, hey, I'm a mason, oh, okay. So they simply say, oh, okay, a mason should be you should give them this kind of an advice. If you tell them, hey, listen, sure, I'm a doctor. Oh, wow. So they expect you to be, I'm an engineer, I'm an architect. That's why people ask you. They don't ask you, what do you do for a living, because they care about your life. They simply ask you so that they know to what extent can they respect you based on what they can approximate you actually. Have you ever gone to buy something to some places, then they tell you, would like to see your financial records. If you, oh, you'd like to buy our watch. I mean, give us our financial records. We would like to see. You might be wasting our time. Let's see how much you have in a bank account. And they can tell you, yeah, you can afford, and such kind of a thing. Anyway, it is what it is. So be careful when you're getting this advice. Number 2, the other advice that is very, very dangerous, and I consider it useless, it is actually only invest on what you know. But Joseph, that sounds so good. Sure, just invest on what you know. What if what you know is not the best? I mean, what if what you know, it is not really the end of what should be invested? So what if you were to invest on what you can learn that you do not know for now? What did I even say? What if you were to invest on what you can learn, but you do not know it as of now? For example, I okay, I don't want to take the whole credit and say I introduced MMF to people. Sure, there were people who were talking about MMF before my time, but I would say nowadays you find in Kenya that a lot of people are becoming woke. Like, oh my goodness, we didn't even know that there's something called money market fund. We didn't even know that, and it's an amazing thing. What if you just concentrated on investing on circles that we knew before? It's the only way you can invest, just circles, and you find like it's actually limiting you to some things. People are saying, hey, how about endowment fund? How about to invest on this? But if you actually learn more, see, if you, let's say, for example, today I introduce something like REITs, real estate investment trust. Sure, you should invest before you understand what it is. Okay? But what you should do is go to an extra mile of learning what it is, run it against what you want and see whether it is actually meeting your goal and whether it actually violates any principle of investments in terms of risking your cash and what have you. So once you learn it, then you can invest. But when we just say, hey, you know what, everyone, just invest on what you understand, that closes the door for curiosity and learning more to have more options for your investments. You find people back then, they used to have an idea of, some people still do have the same idea for today, and some of them either they are arrogant, ignorant, or they simply don't know. You find people just understand, hey, can only be real estate, and such kind of a thing. Now, you find when you have more alternatives, you can compare. If I take my 10 million, there's a videos that I used to make a little bit back then when I say, hey, you know what? We have ourselves like 8 million. Let's get this money into a real estate. We build some rentals. Let's get this money to a money market fund. Let's get this money into a treasury bills and treasury bonds. Let's get this money into stocks, for instance. Then we see what we can actually get. Where are we actually maximizing our returns? Of course, without violating the principle of capital preservation and such kind of a thing. So you realize, oh wow, I thought this will be the best. Now I think I can get better than that. See, not necessarily investing on what you understand only, but also finding out on other areas where you can also invest. Number 3, people do say, hey, a college degree is a must for you to be financially successful. Listen, I remember when you used to go to school, I'm a millennium, we used to be told that education is the key to success. Listen, the padlock has already been changed. Sure, you graduate with the key, but when you go to insert that key into a padlock, the padlock is actually changed. It is no longer working. You find people are stressed. They have the education, but they don't have the financial success. Again, it comes with caveat. I know you can tell me, but that education ought to have opened their mind so that they can be explorative, so that they can be creative and be able to earn something of sort. Tell me who graduates out of the colleges or the university with the mentality of creativity. Most of them, they graduate with the mentality of securing a job for them to disseminate the subject they studied, and of course them being get paid. That's the reality. And that's why you find people complaining that there are no jobs and such kind of a thing. They don't want to open the door of creativity and creating the jobs. Sure, creating a job comes with its own fair share of its hardships, but education, okay, fine. I know if I go this way, I might actually sound like a conspiratory theorist, because the whole purpose, when I read when I do my research, I realize that education ought to have brought forth that what you're already good at, not shutting that and putting you the whole of new things and killing that what you had before. But nowadays they just pump in that, they just tell you, hey, listen, just listen, just keep that what you know, you just get this. If you get all this what we are telling you, and we test you based on our own measures, whether we can qualify you a failure or not a failure. And then when you pass this, or when you get this, then you will train you as a teacher. When you get out of that door, you'll be a teacher, and therefore in the society we give you the title called teacher. So they have programmed you, telling you you can only make money if you get in the teaching industry for you to do that. And what they tell you, they never tell you in the teaching there are two things. In that industry of teaching, there are two things. There is a professional part of the teaching, and there is a business of the teaching, or the business of education. That's why you can have somebody having the school and you can have a teacher. So there is a business of the school or the business of the education, and there is a professional of the education. It's like being a doctor. There is the profession part of the doctor, and there is a business of medicine. There is a business of health or something of sort. So they really train your brains to become an entrepreneur. They train you to become a professional in that particular thing. Am I saying that education is bad? Hell no. It is an amazing. I support it 100%. But when you're in that particular education, try to also get some other satellite courses to make sure that you actually, whatever you are studying, it is actually helping you to realize fully yourself so that you can be able to offer those services out there or be able to survive, be a flexible individual. I remember back when we used to be in university, we were in university, we used to be told that you're being made an universal being to make sure that you can survive anywhere and such kind of a thing. All right. Another thing is that debt is always bad. Come on. Come on, I've talked about this like a million times. Sure, I know the Bible warns us about the debt. The borrower is always the slave of the lender. But listen, there are people who actually created wealth using the debt. If you can master the concept of debt, it is not all the time that the debt is a bad thing that you can have it. Listen, they tell you avoid debt by all cost. That is sometimes that is the advice. Sure, I mean, if they have realized that you cannot be able to handle your money, then you can't handle someone's money. I mean, if you're not good with your money, then who tells you that you can be good with someone else's money? So I always tell people, if you can't manage your salary, if you are, impulse buyer, you're this kind of a guy who believes that money is a product to be consumed, then forget about the debt. Just rely on your own cash. Truly, that debt will actually become a bad debt. You won't be able to manage it, and things can actually, you can even shoot your foot, and that can be a big problem. So, debt is not necessarily ultimately a bad thing, but if it's a good thing if you only study or master the concept of use of debt to create wealth. If you don't understand, go check my older video when I said how to use debt to create wealth. The other one is actually buying a house is always, please underline that term, okay? Is always the best investment. No, it's not always the best investment. It depends to whom that investment, quote unquote, is being done or is doing, because you find some people, they actually rush the home acquisition. They actually stack that money somewhere, they leave that couple of million somewhere, and then they go to job, and then or they go back to their business having stacked that cash. You find surely you're paying to live in your home. Sure, I understand, and I support it. I love having a home, but the problem comes in is you don't understand that you're actually paying to live there. You pay to live there. Okay. I saw somebody saying that the concept of home ownership in Africa is far much different from America. True. Surely owning a home in Africa, precisely in Kenya, may not necessarily be termed as a liability. Sure, it is to some extent because you need to do some repairs and what have you. But you find in America it comes with taxes and what have you. Sure, that may be a little bit off. But here in Kenya is a little bit friendly. But all in all, it's not putting any money in your pocket. It's an asset, yes, but it's not an asset that is generating cash flow. What you're supposed to look, especially at the genesis of your life, when you become active, you're getting more money, instead of actually rushing to acquire a comfort, first of all, work towards acquiring the system that will be making you the cash. When you ensure that you have systems that are reliable, that are making you cash, then you can actually go ahead and build a home. If I do read my Bible, and then my Bible tells me, make sure that before you even build your house, make sure that your land can give you food. It is there, so amazing. Go read the book of Ecclesiastes. And it says first, make sure that your land can give you food before you build your house. That's so amazing, okay? But the Bible has a lot of secrets of finance and wealth and what. You just go there, sit down, study that book. You'll be amazed the number of tips that you can get out there. Anyway, I'm not preaching. This is not Pastor Joseph. But anyway, there's nothing wrong saying I want to know true things about the Bible, isn't it? Anyway, it is what it is. But hey, listen, I'm not saying it is not a good thing. I'm saying perceiving it as if it is always the best investment that you can ever make. Okay? Are we together? The last one, but not the least, is that these. Have you ever heard of this investment, or have you ever heard of these guidance that they tell you this is the best investment that you can do? For instance, I get called by people and they ask me, "Hey Joseph, what's the best investment I can ever invest?" The best answer I can ever give you to that question is I don't know. And of course, when I tell you I don't know, of course, you'll sound like I'm rude. You tell me, but I usually watch your videos talking about invest. Sure. But then I'm asking you what the best investment I can do. I don't know. Why are you telling me that? Because I don't know you. Okay, I'm John. No, not in terms of your name, in terms of where are you going or what do you want and where are you? You get what I'm saying? first somebody should actually, by the way, if you get somebody who is purporting to be a financial advisor, they never ask you such kind of questions. Those are quacks. They just rush to somebody to actually should first understand who you are. Unless you approach them in this way, Joseph would like you to guide me on a money market fund. Fine. I'm assuming that you already know what is an MMF, you know why you need it, and of course, you only lack the technical aspects of it. Fine, that I can guide you that way. But someone comes in as a green individual, asks you, hey, Joseph, what should I do? Or what's the best investment? So first understand who they are, how much are they trading in terms of how much are they having in terms of the capital, okay, what is their source of their income so far. You realize where are they going to, what period of time they want to get into this, such kind of a thing. If how you get approached by somebody at 50 is different from how you get approached by somebody at 20 years old and such. So there's nothing like the best investment. By the way, we don't have anything like best investment. You find MMF, there's something MMF can do, Sacco can't do. There's something Sacco can do, MMF can't do. So there is nothing like best. Best, it means that you can withdraw your money at any time, gives you more interest, or gives you, like, there's nothing like has a combination of best. So we usually have different things at the same time. It's like me asking you, what's the best between a truck and a car? What? A best between a truck and a car. You'll be the cost. The answer should be it will depend. Absolutely, it will depend. If you wanna, carry a big load, of course you need a truck. If you wanna go for a meeting, of course, I mean you can't go a meeting with a truck. You get what I'm saying? When I say truck in Kenya, we mean like a lorry. That big thing. See, they all play vital roles. So when you ask me what's the best investment, we don't have anything like that. So we have MMF for our liquidity, emergency funds, and what have you, accumulation basket. We have stocks for longer period of time for long-term investments. We have things like whole life insurance forever for a different thing. We have something like bills and bonds for fixing our money in a certain period. We have cash and cash equivalents. Like, we have different things that we have them on the table so that they can be able to meet different things in combination. We have a holistic investment. So it's very useless advice when you tell somebody this is the best investment, go with it. Come on, you can tell them. Now you can use the term best based on what you know about them. I'm done. Make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, and if you need my services in one way or the other, go ahead and subscribe. And by the way, can pick that number of mine from there, and then you can shoot me a call. We can talk business for now. So goodbye and see you in the next one.